Of Adventure is Nigh are courageous, mighty, and cuddly? Well, now they can be. Mortimer, Dabarella, Grinderbin, and Sigmar Iceblood are available in plushie form, each with their own adventuring accessory. Display them, hug them, or have them perform in your very own Adventure is Nigh fan fiction. We don't need to talk to every NPC. Yeah, instead, let's make a quick and decisive plan. Get your Adventure is Nigh plushie now at sharkrobot.com or click on the link in the description. And for a limited time, you can buy all 4 at a reduced cost. I'll try the path the Dungeon Master intended me to. Oh blimey, this time I won't use deception.
That abomination.
Well, hello, everyone, and welcome back to Firelink Podcast, episode number 65 for Thursday, May 1st, 2025. Marty Sleva here, joined by Casey Wosu, Nick Calandra, and producer Eric. And I'm going to be honest, sometimes we have shows where it's just a bunch of fun news, a bunch of good news, talking about a bunch of games we've been playing, and those are the fun ones. This is one of the fun ones. If you don't want to hear about an hour of bummer news before we start talking about games we've been playing, I suggest not listening or fast forwarding to about an hour from now when we'll be talking about stuff like Claire Obscure that we really enjoy. But yeah, our topics today are sort of a 1, 2, 3 punch of layoffs across the industry on the development side, massive layoffs at EA and specifically Respawn. And then on sort of our neck of the woods, massive shakeups and layoffs across sort of legacy sites like Polygon, as well as the Giant Bomb community. So we're going to touch on that a little bit and sort of just talking about the state of things. If there's anything new to glean from this other than like only nation on Earth where this happens keeps wondering how did this happen. And then our main topic is the other big news from this morning, which Xbox announced that their hardware and accessories got a pretty sizable price increase today, which seems pretty unprecedented for 4 or 5 years into a console's life cycle. So we'll be talking about that, how it feels like every time Xbox takes 2 steps forward, they end up getting 1 step back. And then of course, all the stuff we've been playing and watching. How are you guys?
Been better. Too bad.
Yeah, been better.
Apparently, I had the hot mic with the abomination. So what I was talking about was Twix chocolate milk. Story behind this. There's a story behind this. My mom wanted chocolate milk, so I went to the gas station, which you probably shouldn't get chocolate milk from the gas station in the first place. But I was there, so I was looking for a gallon. But the sell-by date was that day, so I decided I'm not gonna get that. And then I look up to my right, and there's Milky Way chocolate milk and Twix chocolate milk, and I'm like, that sounds interesting. So I bought one of each. Gave my mom the Milky Way one. She liked it. I was like, okay, Twix milk. This sounds kind of good. I like Twix. I like milk. Drank it during the stream yesterday. Wasn't too bad.
You're just like drinking a milkshake during the stream. That's wild. Wild.
I'm not mad at it. I'll be honest.
What, are you going to be drinking a big old glass of 2% during a stream?
Well, chocolate milk is a different breed, right? Like that's like party milk.
Yeah,
you don't just you're not drinking just
party milk.
You're not drinking just,
I'm like, well, yeah, that is pretty much party milk. So yeah,
put some strawberry in there, shake it up.
Strawberry milk's weird.
Just tasted like
I'm not there for
chocolate milk with a little bit of caramel in it. It was fine.
Yeah,
that sounds good.
It was actually not bad. Marty doesn't like mixing his meats. I don't think he likes mixing his milks either.
I don't mind chocolate milk. It's just a weird thing to just be drinking on a stream. I don't know.
I didn't have a Mountain Dew nearby.
Maybe I'm the weird one. I'm going to be honest. There's no graceful transition to news topics. That would have been a nice one for like a silly news day, but that is not here. Let's just rip it in. Start talking about these layoffs. Let's Let's start on the development side. The story from earlier this week where EA has cut around 300 jobs across various studios, most of which, 100 of which, are at Respawn. And according to reports from Bloomberg, 2 projects, unannounced projects, were reportedly canceled at Respawn, including what may or may not have been a new Titanfall game, although in what kind of form that game was going to take, that is unknown. There was no exact reason for this. I mean, corporate greed is one reason, but also we know that last year games like not FIFA, what is it called now? FC Club,
EAFC, Dragon Age Veilguard.
Dragon Age Veilguard, and even Apex, I think, failed to meet sales projections, and there was no other kind of big game in the second half of last year. So, that results in another massive culling of extremely talented people from the games industry, which always fucking sucks.
Yeah, it's wild to me that Respawn has not gotten to make a new first-person shooter since Titanfall 2 and Apex Legends. Like the talent at that studio, like what are you doing? And my first thought is more like Respawn's maybe quality standards are so high that they're more than willing to cancel a project. Like we really don't know who canceled this thing. Was it EA? Was it Respawn? You know, what happened there? The rumor was that it was an extraction game, which I guess if you look at the response to Marathon and other extraction games, yeah, maybe not go forward with that.
That could be a hit to morale for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it's just a weird time, but yeah, I mean, EA is kind of interesting because like they're putting all their eggs into Disney properties at this point, right? Like you have Star Wars games, and then they're working on the Black Panther game, the Iron Man game.
Mm-hmm.
What is there any original IP they're working on anymore?
They just brought back the NCAA football franchise, right?
Sports games will always
and apparently that did
bread and
really
butter
well.
and milk,
but like that seemed that would probably need to do double duty since FC's in a downturn, and that's usually like kind of a constant for them.
Yeah, FIFA felt like one of those that just kept chugging along, especially with those like microtransactions and everything.
Right. Like I think we and they might have underestimated the power of the brand, like for it to just be called what it's been called for the last 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
Like that definitely seemed to have affected it.
Well, it also just hasn't, like, since they moved to the Frostbite engine, I think they're on an engine called Ignition now. Like the games just don't change over year. There's like small incremental changes, and when you're investing all that money into Ultimate Team, it's getting harder to justify picking up the next one each year.
Sure.
I don't know, like somebody in chat can correct me. I don't know if like Ultimate Team purchases carry over year to year. I don't think they do because it's not separated from each FIFA installment.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't think it's
I
like
assume
I don't think it's like Fortnite or anything where like what you bought years ago works now.
Yeah.
EA is in a weird place because if you like, I feel like a year or two ago on the show we were talking about how like, hey, EA's like kind of like quietly been releasing some good stuff, like the Jedi Survivor games, the Dead Space remake, game Wild Hearts, which like is kind of forgettable, but wasn't
did that
bad.
do well? Because that was a really good.
No.
So I think that's part of the problem. Like, like on the critical side, we can be like, oh yeah, EA is like they're trying some things, they're making some good moves. But then in the business side, like none of that matters to them. The fact that Wild Hearts was a solid non-Monster Hunter game.
I mean, all those games sold well, just not well enough for a mega port.
And and they've they had interesting games that they've been publishing under the EA Originals label recently with Tales of Kanzero Zao and Split Fiction earlier this year, which that might be in consideration for Game of the Year come end of the year. We know they recently showed off. Respawn has that Star Wars Tactics game that I'm assuming
Zero Company.
Which that got revealed, and I saw no one talking about it. Maybe because it got revealed in Japanese time from Star Wars Celebration in Tokyo.
Yeah,
but
no previews or anything.
I literally didn't hear anyone talking about it. I woke up it was like on a Saturday. I saw some screenshots, and then no one talked about it on Monday.
Yeah.
And then we know, obviously, BioWare is kind of full throttle on Mass Effect. Yeah, well, like you mentioned, we got there's gonna be a third Star Wars Jedi game, the Iron Man game, the Black Panther game, assuming those come out. And then Battlefield's the big thing, right? Battlefield 6, which we've there's been some leaks of footage, which I don't know, the clips look cool, but that's a real busy space.
Yeah, EA's like in a weird boat. I just don't know what to expect from them, and like anything new and exciting. And I know there's a huge fan base behind Mass Effect, but I have a bad feeling like BioWare's reputation is just so shot at this point that even that won't be enough to really bring people back to a BioWare game.
Yeah, it's also weird when people want to recapture the glory days of something from 20 years ago, and you have to question how many people are still there that made that original one. I think that's anytime we get kind of this legacy sequel in the games industry, I always question that. There are some games like Okami, for instance. Okami 2 got announced, and we know Okami is directing that, and it has a bunch of the folks from the original game on it. So like that feels like it's going to have that original game's DNA. But when it comes to a new Mass Effect, is BioWare just like the ship of Theseus at this point? And
then they brought back a lot of, I guess, the key people from Mass Effect to work on it, but I mean, they can't make it alone, so who knows?
There's also the added issue that for Mass Effect in particular, and some of these other like long-standing franchises that they try to go back to the well on, is that it's story finished. Like Mass Effect was a story that ended, and then they tried their hand at trying to pick it back up with like a sort of continuation thing, and that didn't do well. So this new thing is going to be not a continuation of that, I assume, but another new thing? Like,
or are they going to like Rise of Skywalker it? Where like fucking let's bring back whoever wasn't dead at the end of 3 and see what they're up to.
Yeah, just take the scraps of a finished thing and then try to make it keep going. Like, I don't know if that's what anyone wants as much as that series is, well loved.
Yeah, it also always worries me when it feels like the fate of an entire company is on this one project, because at that point a game just can't be good enough. It has to be something more, and so rarely is a game with those lofty expectations able to hit them. So I don't know. Did you guys have anything else to say about it? Like all of these just fucking suck.
It's really shitty news. But just on that last point you were making with like, it's weird how often that is happening right now, where like these companies who have been the biggest in the game for decades are finally running up against the wall of like, hey, we built all this too big. And so they tear away all of the things that they think they don't need, which is kind of all of the grunts at the bottom. So imagine like this giant tower and you're ripping away the support in order to like make the load lighter. Like that's gonna fall. Like that's it doesn't seem to be working. I can't think of any company that this strategy has worked for yet. And we've been in this space for the last 4 or 5 years.
Yeah. And that's going to be echoed in the second part of this story. With the media brands. So it also sucks because it feels like there was one of those. It's like one of those factories that it's like 5 days without an incident. It just felt like last week, at least, the drama was like, oh man, Oblivion released the same day as Clair Obscur, but at least everyone seemed like they were like, well, there's some cool games are out. And they both seem to be doing pretty well. And Blueprints was a few weeks ago, and that seems to be doing pretty well. And then it's just back to this, and it's like fucking. It's tiring.
I think my unpack tomorrow is so stupidly relevant.
Yeah, I mean that feels like one that could just be released literally at any time, though. Is the sad thing about it?
I was just gonna say, I really don't know what the future looks like for mega publishers anymore, like Ubisoft or EA or any of them. Really, I just like the endless chase for profits is destroying these companies. And I said it on Blue Sky today, like creative industries, really any industry, just does not work with endless growth. There is a cap to these things. And I just don't like how do you fix it? Do you get these companies off the stock market and go back to being private like Ubisoft was looking at doing? because then they had to form the thing with Tencent to go back to being private technically. It's weird. Like I don't know where they go, and I don't know where you fix those problems.
We don't. That's the thing, right? We don't have the answer to this.
Like, if we did, these things wouldn't be happening. But
so there is the possibility that there isn't a way to fix this. There's a possibility that this will just continue to erode until it's no more. And that's very depressing. That's like a real fatalist point of view. I'm hoping that there is a solution. But it doesn't feel like the people who have all the say and power, who are in charge of these sorts of things, think that way. Like,
no, they don't, because they're able to leave with a big paycheck.
Right. Yeah. Like, and that's all they're interested in. Like, we don't have, in any of these spaces, we don't have people at the very top who care about the space. They care about the business that space has fostered.
Yeah, and these are all they all feel like echoes of reverberations from COVID, when a lot of money was pumped into this because people were at home, and people were using their stimulus checks on forms of escapist entertainment, and now people went back to work, and the economy's in a downturn, and everything is expensive, including video games, which we're going to be getting to in our main topic, and so people aren't buying as many things. And it's paying for the sins of 5 years ago now. Like a bullet that was fired then that's finally hitting now over and over and over and over again.
They shot several bullets back then.
They shot several bullets. It was a machine gun. Yeah, for being honest. King Dead with the $2 dono over on YouTube. Thank you so much. King Dead said somehow Commander Shepard has returned. I mean,
if they bring him back, they better not.
They'll bring him back. They'll explain it during a Fortnite event though. So
fuck. No.
Yeah. And then Abdel Corrales, thank you so much in the Green Gang, is 17 months. The video game industry seems like a Jenga tower. Right. That just keeps falling over, and then the next morning you wake up and it's built back up, but just less sturdy at the base. And it's like, well, what's going to happen today? I'm like, well, it's going to fall over again. What
like a magician, like just pulled the bottom row out like a like a sheet on a bunch of plates.
Yeah.
Welcome to the corporate games media industry.
Yeah. That's a good segue into that. The other half of the conversation here is the news this morning that Polygon has been sold to Valnet, the company that owns Game Rant and Screen Rant and stuff like that. Most of its staff has been let go, and it seems like Polygon's just going to be turned into a guides and wikis SEO farm. And then the exact same day we haven't gotten the exactly what's going on at Giant Bomb, but it seems like most of the major figures have left either by their own accord or not of their own accord, and that their parent company, Fandom, has claimed that the brand will undergo, quote, strategic reset and realignment. I mean, Nick, obviously this is something that you're super passionate about, so any takeaways from this?
Yeah, I mean, I've been pretty vocal about it on social media because the Giant Bomb thing hits so close to home. They basically, what happened was, I'm assuming they weren't selling many sponsorships on it, and so Fandom came in and gave them a mandate to make their content brand safe, which means stop cursing, stop talking about taboo subjects, whatever. So the Giant Bomb crew on their last episode went and protested that, made fun of Fandom for trying to enforce that on them, and then Fandom basically shut down all their streams and video content until further notice. And then sounds like more stuff came out in a thread about how Fandom basically wasn't giving anybody on the Giant Bomb pocketing all the subscription money, which I guess when you're corporate owned, I don't really know where else the subscription money would go, but so I don't really know the full story behind that. But yeah, essentially Fandom came in, tried to tell Giant Bomb, don't do what you're known for doing, and basically sanitize yourself, and they said to fuck off. Which what's the point at that point? What's the point of being the brand that you can't...
writing on the wall.
Yeah. And it's been on the wall, and I feel bad. I feel bad for that team. I also feel bad for GameSpot because they just relaunched all their video stuff again with a whole new plan and everything like that, and it lasted maybe a month, and it seems like the plug has been pulled on that too. So I would not be surprised to see layoffs hitting GameSpot video team before too long, unfortunately. I've just been keeping an eye on that because I like a lot of the stuff they do. They released a great Stalker documentary that just didn't get the views that it should have. It's like 20,000 views on that thing. It's just a bad time. And then Polygon, like a lot of the people I've talked to, Polygon was supposed to be one of the sites that were too big to fail. And so I don't know, who knows why Polygon got shuttered. And I mean, like I really like their work. They produce a lot of really good stuff. Yeah, like I mean, it's sold, but they fired everybody that made the site what it was. So it's just going.
Yeah, the entire video team and
the writing team, the core writing staff, and the people that weren't fired left too. So it's a husk. It's a husk of a brand again.
But I think that might be the reason. Like they were big enough that they were an attractive target for acquisition, and a company like Valnet, like they don't care about the product. They care about the fact that it's big. Like Polygon is a known name, so they're going to take that brand because that's all they care about and do what they think they'll be able to make profit off of.
Yep, that's going to be either they're going to bring in a team. You know, it's kind of hard to talk about these things and not sound like not bias isn't the right word, but like when we got brought into the Escapists, it was kind of in a similar situation. The husk of the brand was bought. And then we had to come back in and rebuild it into something. But that was... I mean,
I'll push back against that a little bit. Because this feels very different in that it was a husk. Like, it had been a husk for a while before someone was like, can we do something with this? And then they hired people and let them do something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This
didn't fire a team that were making it.
Yeah. Exactly. Like, these people were fired... And the intention is because they don't want to pay them. They want to either get AI or, underpaid labor or something to, like you said, content farm.
And they were in the middle of unionized contract negotiations.
Right, and that's always super unpopular.
All the fucking grosser. Yeah.
That's the real gross part of it is like, they sold them because they didn't want to negotiate. I mean, that's really what happened there, and that's clear as day.
Yeah.
Like, what other reason would you sell during a negotiation like that?
Yeah, and I, like the thing that sucks is like even if you don't read Polygon or watch Giant Bomb, the fact that there are now fewer and fewer of these outlets, and no like new traditional news outlets are really opening up. Like there's the sort of niche enthusiast pocket things like us, like you know, Kind of Funny, Last Stand Media,
like Aftermath.
Aftermath, yeah, exactly. But like that does not substitute for a newsroom. Like I don't like it is. We are losing like institutional knowledge and reporting, and like the industry as a whole is going to be worse for it, like legitimately worse for it without these things. Like we're going to know less about how games are made, and the stuff we consume is going to be more publisher PR, developer slanted. Like you're not going to get like true unbiased journalism. I'm sure there's going to be some people who are going to say, well, Polygon was left leaning, they were wokes. Fucking like, what do you, where are people going to, this news just isn't going to exist. It's going to be press releases. It's going to be regurgitated press releases, and it fucking sucks.
Folks don't want to hear it. But that's where you get the news from. It's from the left. You don't get it from the right. I'm sorry.
Well,
that's not how this has worked.
That's what I've always tried to, like, when people have thrown that at me, I'm like, where are those sites? If you want them, why aren't people making them? Mm-hmm. It's because they don't make money. Sorry.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the sad part is like I talked about this too. Like I got kind of lucky that I got into the Escapist with Enthusiast Gaming when I did, because that was when Enthusiast Gaming was private still. They had not gone on the stock market yet. And so there was money for me to go in and rebuild the Escapist and do something with it. After they went to the stock market, that's when all the shareholders came in and things got real ugly real quick. But like there like it was nice at the start of second when we had enough money to bring in some freelancers and keep trying to build up new talent and people. Like I wanted to give back in that way to keep doing that, but a lot of these smaller independent outlets like us now cannot afford to have freelancers and do that kind of thing and help build up a new wave of people. And so either they have to do it and volunteer and just make themselves a team and go do these things as a hobby, but it's really not a career path anymore, unless you got in at the right time. And that's
in order for it to
sad.
be good reporting, it needs to be a career. Like you need to be able to have the security and the financial stability to be able to do that reporting. And Wink Potato over on our Patreon. Remember, if you're at first off, plug. If you enjoy independent media, support them. I mean, Patreon is obviously our bread and butter, and especially at that $5 tier, which gets a whole hell of a lot of stuff, including more stuff coming soon, which you'll hear about very soon. But a Wing Potato says, RIP Polygon, one of my few remaining sites that I kept up with. Any worthwhile remaining replacement sites besides something like, I guess, Aftermath? I think VGC is doing a lot of good work.
VGC and that has the best, like, straight news gaming website out there right now.
And that has a ton of legacy. They're like legacy reporters. They've been doing this for a long fucking time. Honestly, IGN still does really great original news. And I know if you go to IGN, that homepage is a goddamn mess. Like it is always skinned with ads. It is just full of deals and shit like that. But they still have a team of original reporters that do incredible original reporting. And then you have kind of one-offs. Like you have Jason Schreier with Bloomberg, and you have
Gene Park,
Stephen Totillo, Gene Park. Yeah. And Keeley just, I think with Chris String, just like really has a new, what do you call those things? Substacks?
Game business.
Yeah. Subby stacks. So, but there is no just like monolithic, like when I got in this industry, there was like 20 different places I could have pointed to, 5 to 10, 12, Jesus, how long has it been? 14 years ago. And that just kind of doesn't exist anymore. So,
it's I know, I know games media's reputation, wibbly wobbly for a lot of people, but like, I think it's one of those things you are going to miss when it's gone. The institutional sites that cover regular news and stuff like that. Like, I don't think, like, unless you really want all your news from clickbait, garbage, ragebait YouTubers, like these, you are going, well, first of all, they won't have anything to cover because they won't have any sites to get mad at anymore. So it's good for them.
More so than that, they won't have sites to get information from. A lot of them read the articles from places like Kotaku, Polygon, whatever, and then they make their content based on that. Are they going to now become actual reporters?
Hell no.
I'll get invited to the White House.
Oof. I think. I don't know. Like, there's so many reporters out of work. Like, it kind of shocks me that like some of them haven't tried to band together yet and really build a new independent site. But I also
would not leave the industry and go to something more stable.
Yeah. Well, I understand that. I think part of it is like
for sure.
Yeah. Well, part of it is like we built a team up and we stuck together as a team. A lot of these people haven't worked together or kind of siloed off doing their own things and don't really have the power to just bring a giant audience with them because they either don't
or they don't have a Yahtzee.
Yeah, they don't have a Yahtzee. That's fair.
We couldn't have done what we did if we didn't have a Yahtzee to be the rising tide that raises all ships.
I think with the right group of people, there is a call for a traditional games media outlet if it were to happen. I just don't know who, because unfortunately, like all of these corporate-owned sites stripped away all of their personality.
Yeah, but it's also it's gonna tie into our main story, which we're gonna get to soon, where that's all well and good. But like if these things need the support of the readers and the fans and the viewers and everything, and that we are so fortunate to have. I just spit on my microphone. I think I'm dying. That's getting harder for people to do because everything is fucking expensive now, including the hobby that we all cover. Yes. Which really, really fucking sucks. Abdel Corrales with a $5 dono. Thank you so much, Abdel. Hello, guys. Unfortunately, if there was a long-term planning, if long-term planning existed in the industry, that is long gone now, and that just might be the first problem now. I think like that's almost every industry of like it is hard to hold twin thoughts of I need to plan for the next week and I need to plan for the next decade. Like that is extremely hard as a human being, even to hold. if anyone has any tips for that, I would love to hear it because I know that is very tough. I'm just like, listen, I didn't die this week, so I'm giving this one a plus. Although I'm spitting on my mic, so I don't know. Maybe I am dying. You know what? You know why I'm dying? Thunderbolts fever. I was too sick to go today.
Oh, you didn't even go. Oh, wow.
No, I didn't want to go. I don't know if I have whooping cough. I don't want to be giving everyone who's there to see their friends Florence Pugh and David Harbour. I don't want to give them all whooping cough.
Did you see what the IMAX showings look like in comparison to Sinners showings? Like,
did you see it's coming? Sinners is coming back like a week or two later. Like they've already said, like they're kicking Thunderbolts out. Yeah,
because they're not filling the seats. So you would have been fine. You'd have had mad space.
Yeah. That is depressing. Yeah. Any?
Go ahead.
Oh no! I was gonna say, is there anything else before I move on to Xbox?
I already wrote and recorded my next Unpacked for next week because I'll be gone for the first half of the week.
Speaking of someone who can plan for tomorrow and for a week ahead, that's incredible.
It's on this topic of games media and like in general. I just think the corporate games media model is dead. Like I think all these roads end at the same place, and yeah, like if I were still working at one of those sites, I would just really start building up my own portfolio outside of it.
I'd start staying at the office a little bit late every day and slowly stealing things. That's what I would do.
You know what?
That's what I would do. Get those nice ass chairs they got.
The one piece of good news we did get, like, his Game Informer got to come back with the whole team and everything.
Yeah, we should have mentioned them actually as one of the new independent outlets.
That
was really encouraging to see.
They're independent, but they're also owned by Gunzilla, which is a game developer.
Godzilla with a gun.
Yeah.
Aren't they kind of like a crypto Web3? I don't want to talk too much because I don't actually know this. Maybe
I mean,
we should probably do some reporting.
We're
not reporters. We need reporting. There he is.
The game.
I see him down there.
Yeah, the game that they're working on is kind of like another extraction battle royale game. I think it's like somewhat powered by Web3 stuff, but it's not a crypto scam game or anything like that. It's a real game that you can go play. It's called Off the Grid. You can go play it it's on the Epic Games Store. Like, and people seem to like it. Ellie Berry says, "Are they doing a print version?" Yeah, Game Informer will be bringing back their print magazine.
I fucking love game magazines.
I miss them.
I didn't have anything else there. I just like game magazines.
Yeah.
I'm filming
great memory.
My one-off experimental video is game magazine related, which I'm very excited about. And then Fella Guy, thank you so much for the $5 dono, Fellow Guy. You're describing sort of what I thought the G4 reboot was going to be, but with funny skits, and then it turned out to be what it was. Yeah, that felt like a thing
G4 is a unique story.
And it felt like they way too quickly were like, we have this massive studio space. And I was like, ooh, you guys grew hella quick.
I think I remember saying that.
So much money.
Yeah, I think I remember saying that exact thing in the Slack when they showed the studio. I was like, why do they need this when we do all the same stuff from home?
To be fair, rent in LA is notoriously cheap.
Yes, that's, you know what? Fair.
Yeah. I got my news from lalies.com. So we'll see how that works. Yeah, I guess the only thing, just to reiterate, is if there are independent creators who make the things you like, support them. If there's anyone who makes the thing you like, support them. If you can't support them financially, support them by like giving things a like, giving things a share, watching things. If you watch things without ad block, I know things fucking suck, but like every little bit helps.
Yeah,
share those videos you like on social media. It really fucking helps. You, like I always tell our team, you never know who's gonna pick up your video.
Put them on the TVs at Best Buy.
Yeah,
go into Costco and put them on every TV. Those TVs at my Costco
we have given
right
before.
at the front. Right at the front. Literally one of the first things you see is a big old TV. What if you walked in and all of a sudden you saw the Animal documentary on that TV?
Yeah,
and
think about it.
Pa Kent, who's buying 10 gallons of peanut butter pretzels, is suddenly like, oh, what's going on here? Who's this guy?
Yeah.
He looks neat.
The last point I'll make on it is, like, I think a lot of people think like, oh, I can't afford $5, I can't afford $3. You may not be able to afford anything. That's okay. But like, I think the way people need to think about these types of ventures is like, you don't need 1 million people watching live streams of your podcast or your videos or anything to be supported and make these things viable for people. 10,000 people giving our Patreon $1 a month is $10,000. That's enough to pay like
Yeah,
3
for-
people. So,
for a small team, that's
if 10,000 people
fantastic.
give $1, if even a third of our not even a third, sorry, like a percentage of our audience all gave $1, we would be secure forever. We'd never have to worry about it again, and you get all the content you want, all the Yahtzee you could ask for.
So
Even
instead,
Yahtzee
next
videos.
time you
all,
go to
all the
buy
Yahtzee he's willing to give you. Yahtzee.
Yeah.
next time you go and think about buying a tin of chewing tobacco, maybe think about throwing Yahtzee $1 or $2. Because I know we have an enthusiast chew audience here.
Instead of buying that Twix chocolate milk, give it to us instead.
That's where your money's going. Your money's going to those fucking mistakes. My brown ass camera as I get whooping cough. Let's talk about Xbox. Just sticking with money. So this morning, news came out just via press release that in a relatively unprecedented move, although it's been happening around the world with stuff like PlayStation, Microsoft has raised the price of Xbox hardware and accessories pretty much across the board, including the Series X is now $599. So almost 5 years into the generation, not only has it not gone down in price, it has gone up $100 from what I paid at the end of 2020. They also stated that some games are going to go up to $79.99 later on in the year, hitting parity with that Mario Kart price.
So they've stated that it will be new games. Like no game that they've released today will go up in price as a new thing. They haven't clarified.
Be nuts. I imagine it's new games.
Okay.
So I imagine whatever their big fall game is going to be,
which is
Fable or whatever.
Call of Duty.
Fable,
I mean, obviously Call of Duty, that's one that makes the most sense. Yeah. They also said Game Pass is remaining the same for now. Keyword for now.
Yeah, because they just raised it not that long ago.
Yeah, I do not think it is gonna stay there. And this does come on the heels of earlier last year, I believe PlayStation raised the price of PS5 in various regions outside the US. There's no way that's not coming here. That's going to be a given. It'll be the PS5 Pro will go up, the PS5 will go up.
One of the companies had to take the hit first.
Yeah, I guess, and it's like, Nintendo was the first one through the breach, and then everyone's like, "Fuck it, yeah, let's go." Yeah, I guess right off the bat, Casey, what did you think of this?
This sucks. Like we knew it was coming. I don't know if folks expected it to be this harsh, but just based, like, if you've been following any of the news like about the tariffs and like the trade wars and stuff like that, you knew it was gonna get bad eventually. It's funny, technology, like it does in kind of all aspects of life, is leading the way. I've not heard about how these tariffs are affecting any other everyday life thing, because that's coming as well. But our entertainment, our leisurely pursuits, those are the things that are the most comfortable, I guess, leading the charge and be like, hey, these things that you already spend a shit ton of extra money on are now going to cost you even more money. So I hope you got it in the pocket. And the folks who don't just won't have it. But then it's going to get worse because all the other things that you need to buy are slowly going to start to creep up as well. Not that they haven't been already, but it's going to get worse. Like I think I saw, and I apologize for not vetting my source, I think I saw a news thing that said like the last shipping container ship from China is scheduled to like dock at some point in May, and then after that it's like nothing's coming.
Yeah,
and so
the pretzels.
The apocalypse begins.
They're saying like expect COVID level shortages in like 2 weeks.
Right.
So you better get.
Is that why you're
toilet
stocking
paper
up
now.
on Twix milk?
I only got the one. That shit. That was it. I should have rationed
my own cow. Gonna buy my own chickens.
Buy my own Twix factory. Yeah, Nick, what did you take from this?
Well, first of all, like, why the fuck is a $1 trillion company raising their prices as if they need it? Just stupid. The main thing I think I'm taking away from the tariffs is all the already rich people are going to take advantage of it to make more money.
And
so,
when inevitably the tariffs get pulled back, prices will not go down.
No, because people will be normalized to it.
Done bun can't be undone. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know if you, like we were just talking about the death knell of big publishers. If big publishers are going to be charging $80 for their games, and we're going into a recession hopefully not a depression, those dwindling sales are only going to increase in pace. So I don't know what the I mean, you kind of a negative feedback loop everybody's jumping into here, and it's just going to keep getting worse, I think.
Yeah, and it sucks specifically for Microsoft because it does feel like that thing we kept bringing up about how being like we're right around the corner from one of, like a banger first party game coming out every week. We got there.
They were so close. Like it was happening.
Got there. Like we had, especially if you are a Game Pass subscriber, you had in the last few months, you had Call of Duty, Indiana Jones, Eternal Strands, Citizen Sleeper 2, Avowed, Atom Falls, South of Midnight, Blueprints, Oblivion, Clair Obscur, Doom is coming in like 2 weeks. Like that is an incredible deal. Like and like these games are good. Microsoft's first party games have been really good.
Yeah, like
the indies they've got
very
are
good. Like
they're releasing those games on PlayStation, and those games are selling extremely well. Like Indiana Jones is and Forza are selling extremely well. On
the news report that came out today is Xbox is the top publisher on PlayStation.
like their games are dominating culture right now. Period. Like both Blueprints and Clair Obscur are currently on people's Game of the Year list. Like how long has it been since Xbox had anything rivaling that, let alone 2?
Yeah, well, those weren't.
Fair enough. But like they definitely hold the high ground in terms of like just get them with our service, and like their subscription numbers are up. Last time they told us what those numbers were. So like this is a good time for them, but then this comes and they didn't need to be second out of the gate. I'll be honest, like they should have let PlayStation take this hit. They could have rode this as long as they possibly could have.
Yeah,
they did not need to do this, but it's that greed.
The Xbox Series X going to $600 is insane to me.
It's laughable, honestly.
Like listen, we don't know their numbers. We don't know the logic behind this aside from what we can assume. But fuck that. The PlayStation 5 Pro isn't even that much.
Yeah, it is.
It is? Oh.
Yeah.
I haven't used it. I forgot about it.
I can't believe you bought one.
Stupid thing for work.
Know how much the things? What do you mean for work? You said you haven't used it.
I know that's
the
the problem.
PS5 Pro is $700, so it's $100 more.
I got to write it off of my taxes, which I needed to write off, so that worked. But yeah,
I don't think that's how that works.
I want everyone to know writing things off on your taxes doesn't mean it's just free. It just means you pay less tax on it on the back end, and that's not like a huge percentage.
Let me live in ignorance. It's fine.
We will. Yes, we will continue to do that. Yeah, it sucks because this again takes away, and again maybe they're doing this now so that they can rip the Band-Aid off early, and then they're gonna undoubtedly have a big Xbox showcase. I think they've already announced the date for Summer Game Fest that weekend, first weekend of June, which again maybe all the bad news is coming now so that we can forget about it and then have a fun week at the beginning of June with Switch 2 being released and and then Summer Game Fest and hopefully an Xbox showcase and a PlayStation showcase and a bunch of cool indie games, and then Death Stranding comes out a few weeks later, and then undoubtedly July will come and some other studio that had made beloved game after beloved game would suddenly is suddenly going to be completely fucking gutted.
It's just like is this the only way? Like is there not a reality where Xbox held the prices as they were? Like, sure, maybe there's not going to be a console drop because we're not in that sort of economy. But what if they just didn't take their pay raises or docked their execs money or the board? You know what I like?
That's insane.
You're thinking so illogically.
Are you a communist? You might be a communist.
Because sometimes it's starting to feel a little bit like we are in the business of reporting on like a royal family or something.
Starting to?
Yeah.
We've been there, buddy.
Yeah, like an oligarchy. Yeah, that's a really good point. Yeah.
And it's like,
we're subsidizing the rich. That's what we're doing.
I just want to reiterate, I'm well aware how privileged we as a company and we as workers are to have the positions that we have. Like I'm super thankful to be able to do this kind of work. And it very much sucks every time we have to come in here and say that someone else in our field has lost their job, that this industry is so hard to get into, so hard to stay into, and that the people who run it are essentially just crushing everyone around us beneath their boot. So the fact that we're able to even talk about that because you guys help us out so much is super amazing, important, and like I am 100% thankful for that. I just want to reiterate that to you guys because it's scary out here, and I work on both sides of this, mind you. Like I'm here with the press people, I'm over there with the corporate people, and none of it is good. It's all bad. It's worrisome to say the least.
Yeah, I mean, we went through it with everything that happened with the escapists, and so like we were there. It just. Yeah, it like trying not to sound too defeatist, like it just really fucking like everything really just fucking sucks right now. Like every piece of news that comes out from the government is disheartening, and just the lack of humanity from things, and then people at the top with everything just keep taking more and more and more and asking for more. And it's like I'm endlessly angry every day with this stuff. Like this is probably one of the most real conversations we've had on this podcast. But like, I'm glad we get to do what we do because I get so many messages from people all the time about like, hey, like I listen to your podcast, coming home from work, and it just really makes me feel better, about things. And like, hey, I just get to listen to people chat about games for a little bit. But like, it just fucking sucks. Like it like sometimes it just. And I know we all feel it. Like it feels hard to write about a game you're excited about when everybody around you is like suffering and losing their jobs and stuff like that. And we
make you feel like I'm not doing anything severance.
Useful. You have to like severance yourself.
Yeah, and like we know, like you said, kids, like this is a luxury job for us, and like we don't take it for granted any day that we get to do this. Like
100%.
Why we fight so hard for it. Yeah.
Also, every Tuesday we get 2.5 hours of Andor that teaches us how to overthrow the government piece by piece. So I'm just taking notes every Tuesday, and I'm like, Andor's, you're giving me some good tips. You're giving me some good tips for how to overthrow the government, which I appreciate. Freak Job over in the Patreon. Thank you so much, Freak Job.
Good segue.
Right, Lisa wasn't. There could have been a lot worse things. I could have immediately pivoted to Fat Cock. Freak Job. In our increasingly subscription-based economy, Game Pass has increased 45%. I'm assuming this means user base in the last year, and contributed to a 5% increase in Xbox revenue. For consumers, it's a great way to play a $60 game for only $12. Any negatives you guys can think of?
I need to re-listen or reread that comment.
Well, what we talk about how Game Pass is great all the time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What are the drawbacks of Game Pass?
Like, do they mean for a consumer or like for the service in general? Because like I feel like that the same way the Netflix model has like created like a cloud in terms of profitability for the studios and whoever who make things, and those things go into that service. That has become sort of a gray area that folks are worried about because it's unclear how you make your money back and how it's sustainable unless you're the biggest subscription service in the field. And currently Xbox is that. Like they kind of are the biggest subscription service in the field. So it's how much Xbox, the company, is still willing to invest in it that makes it good for everyone involved because their numbers are going up. Then the people who are getting their games put on it, their numbers are going up. As soon as Xbox, since they kind of hold the monopoly on this right now, as soon as they decide they don't want to pay as much, they don't want to have games come in or whatever, then it becomes an issue because folks are conditioned to not pay $60, $70, $80 for their games. They want it in the service. And so it's a harder ask if you don't get to be in the service.
Yeah, it kind of lowers your tolerance to that full price thing. And then when a game that's not a part of the service comes out, and I mean, granted that was a bad example because it's going to be $80 or $90 and people are going to buy it anyways.
Yeah, people will buy that regardless.
Yeah, if some other game comes out that's that price. I mean, there are simple things like you don't own the game and Xbox can pull the game. I mean, any of these things can pull the game. At least on PlayStation, as long as you keep subscribing, you've downloaded the game and you could keep playing it. Well, that's only for like the PlayStation Plus things. There are games in the library that are cycled out.
They're
which is all very confusing.
Yeah,
do they do that anymore?
the only service where yes, I do. The only service you got to actually keep the games, even if you unsubscribed, was Games with Gold.
That's right.
Yeah, they stopped. Gold, they stopped doing that.
Well, and like Sony just, I think a news story just came out that they've removed the Resistance trilogy from PlayStation Plus. I'm like, you own that? What the fuck is happening? Unless you're getting ready to announce a remaster,
they might,
which I'd be fine with. But
they might be getting ready to do that. Yeah,
yeah. My gut says no because they have like the remasters of like the Ratchet and Clank games on there and the originals. Like the PS2
ones. Taking this away from me. This is like
listen,
when Casey got
I want
worried
Resistance
that I'm not going to be able to get my fucking Switch.
Hey, it's the day of bad news, Marty. I'm sorry, you're only getting bad news.
Okay, it was just today though, because yesterday wasn't bad news and tomorrow won't be bad news. So
just don't look at the internet tomorrow. Or
I'll be dead tomorrow, judging by how precipitously worse I'm feeling. Rob Paul, also in Patreon, thank you so much. Rob says, as prices continue to rise on everyday items and people start feeling the squeeze more and more, what do you think the future for gaming looks like? Will AAA studios be able to weather this storm, or will we see a decline in indies? It may be possible that things become so expensive that gaming is a luxury few choose to afford.
I think there will always be people to buy expensive games. Like I don't think that's going away. I think maybe I don't know. My personal feeling on it is like the days of $300, $500 million games isn't going to be around forever, except for the biggest of the biggest franchises like Call of Duty that know they're basically going to make that money. But yeah, I mean, like, is Sony going to continue investing, Naughty Dog money into those things? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, there will also always be like free to play games are only growing, and if this is a thing that people get priced out of, free to play games are just going to become more and more popular. So
yeah.
I don't know. It's weird. We don't have the answer. Like there is no crystal ball for us to know that.
Yeah, I can only imagine it will change. Like it will have to change in some way because this is very clearly unsustainable. So the only question is like, how will it change? Like, will things go back? Will they transition backwards? Whereas like the big companies release all of their senior staff, those senior staff make smaller companies, and then those smaller companies become the bigger companies because the bigger companies have lost their staff and then they can't make a good game, and so they sell off.
That's where I think the change is going to happen is that like there will not be parent type companies anymore. Like I think people are getting business savvy enough to not need it, right? I think is a bunch
like
of studios aren't going to,
right? Yeah.
I mean, it's literally what independent media is doing. Like we learned how to do the sponsorship sales, we learned how to do the analytics and how to do payroll, all that stuff. Like we don't need a corporate CEO to sit above us and do those things for us
until they become the corporate CEOs.
Fuck.
Like just this path. If it goes down long enough, if they become successful enough, then I think they might run into some problems.
Look at Giant Bomb. Giant. This is just the cycle repeating. Giant Bomb was spun off from it was a splinter of GameSpot because of corporate malfeasance, and eventually they sold back to them. So it's a circle of life.
Well, I think that's more the change. Is I think people are more protective of their companies now, and not just looking for an end game.
Sure. Like this is Avengers Endgame.
Well,
remember that movie?
Then so unwell for Tony Stark.
That's fine. That's fine for everyone else. What are you talking about? He's coming back in fucking next year.
You're right. He's fine. He got paid again.
He won that fight though, so it's all good.
Did win that fight, yeah. Let's jam through some super chats. Spoony Bard with $1 dono. Thank you so much, Spoony Bard. Appreciate you. That's a Final Fantasy reference. Captain Prez with a $5 dono. Thank you, Captain President. Join Patreon, you goofs. For as little as a cup of coffee a month, you too can keep Nick waist deep in Twix chocolate milk. Can you imagine like a swamp? Can you imagine it's like the never-ending story and your horse drowns in a swamp of Twix chocolate milk? Remember Never-Ending Story? Nick has one Never-Ending Story.
I don't want to be in a swamp of milk. That sounds gross.
I'd be in a milk swamp.
It would be spoiled.
Don't they do like luxury? Why would it have? It doesn't have to be spoiled.
It's a swamp. Everything's gross in a swamp.
But the milk's in there. The milk, Nick. The milk is pure.
I want to know where you're going with this. Don't they do luxury
Like milk baths. Like that's like a thing that like
Oh,
a
yeah.
high class spa will like soak you in some sort of like
I
buttermilk
think
bath. That's a thing.
that's a freaky deaky search thing. No one be searching milk baths in front of loved ones or potential
Dude,
employers.
That's gonna come up with weird stuff. That's gonna come up with the non-brand safe images.
Rule 34 milk baths. RI with $5 Canadian. Thank you so much, RI. Where does Twix only cost $1? Well, each Twix is $1, so it's $2. That's how they get you.
I'm sorry,
You know
they
what
sell 2 Twix where you're at? Yeah, my store only sells one.
You only get the
They
left
can't even
Twix.
call them that. Then that's like one thing they can't change. They can make them smaller, but there's still got to be 2. I also don't like that my local Target and Walgreens don't have Raisinets anymore. Because I would always buy them and then take them into a movie and I'd eat some Raisinets, chocolate covered raisins during the movie. They just don't make movie size Raisinets there anymore.
You got to go to a Walgreens near a movie theater.
What do you like? They don't sell
My Target's
Raisinets
very
at
close to
all.
the movie theater.
Well, don't shop at Target
Not
anyway.
in like the nice little movie. Wait, what?
Target
Target
sucks.
Well, just get a Ziploc
I just want
bag
Raisinets.
like
I don't
a
care.
normal person.
I'll fucking buy them from Hitler. If Hitler sold me Raisinets that I could get
Don't
before I see
That's a
Thunderbolts.
horrible
He's
quote to
using
have.
it to fund his campaign. Don't buy him from Hitler.
He's a starving artist. No, that's terrible. That's terrible. No, I'm anti-Hitler, pro Raisinets. Puncussion, thank you so much. Welcome to the value tier. Cody Bishop with a $2 dono. Thank you, Cody Bishop. R.I.P. Giant Bomb. It was my foundational gaming show. Yeah. It was for a lot of people. That was like a massive gateway for folks into the sort of personality-driven games industry.
I built a lot of our model off of Giant Bomb, a mix of Giant Bomb and the Escapist. The old
I learned
Escapist.
how to do this job by listening to Giant Bomb and a bunch of IGN podcasts.
Yeah.
Like, it sucks.
Yeah. Super sucks. Dower Dodger with a $5 dono. Thank you so much, Dower Dodger. There's only so much people can spend on entertainment. We all aren't magically making more money. Exactly, Dower Dodger. That's the thing, is like
We're magically making less, honestly.
yeah, exactly. Your dollar is magically worth less money
Wait,
than it was.
So you're saying that dollar I planted in my backyard is not going to become a tree?
No, you're actually down $1.
Well, yeah, because a fucking coyote dug it up at night.
That coyote must have a lot of dollars in his belly then.
Yeah.
Rich-ass
S6 with
coyote.
S6 with $10 Australian dollars. Thank you so much, S6. The only way tariffs improve is if together U.S. gamers rise up and protest loudly from inside their homes because we are introverts and don't go outside. Gamers united will never leave our desks. See?
They're too busy protesting jawlines.
That's something you can get behind. Your desk.
Yeah.
Wow.
Inverse Skies with $8 Australian dollars. Thank you so much, Inverse Skies. Happy to try and support in any way I can. I wish you could do more with how frightening it is out there. Never feel bad for if you like. That's any like I always. As much as we appreciate it, I always feel so bad when someone's like, "Oh, I gotta lower my." My monthly pledge because I'm out of work or I'm having a baby or XYZ. And I'm like, no, you got to take care of you and your own first. And so, yeah, like we said, just supporting us via watching and just being a positive influence and leaving a little thumb or a nice comment or a share. Is greatly appreciated.
Also, if you generally like don't comment in our community, maybe start doing that. like that's a way to support us too. Like be a positive voice out in the space. If you don't have like the money to spare, like that helps.
Yeah, make all the time I moderate worth it. Yeah, that's why I moderate so much, so that the people that are scared to come out and comment.
Go to Costco and put our videos on TVs.
Just do guerrilla marketing for us, please.
Yeah, exactly. King Dead with a $5 dono. Thank you so much, King Dead. On a completely unrelated topic, a book I recommend is Simple Sabotage Field Manual, published by the CIA. Is that going to have spoilers for next week's episode of Andor? Because I don't want spoilers. What if I just become like a hardcore revolutionary? That'd be fun.
Hey, I think a lot of us are going to choose this career path sooner rather than later.
I went out to my first protest a couple weeks ago.
We're not going to have a choice. We're going to be forced in it. There he is. Fat Cock's here.
Hey.
Welcome, Fat Cock. $2 dono. I am ready to drop a Hunsky on GTA 6.
You're the problem.
I'm very excited for GTA 6.
The problem is the games are too good.
Do we think They said it wasn't. But Borderlands 4, it moved forward 2 weeks. So instead of coming out like late September, it is now coming out early September. They said it has nothing to do with anything else that their parent company may or may not be publishing. Do we think that they are liars and it has something to do with Grand Theft Auto 6's assumed release date? Also, do you agree with me when I say I don't even think Rockstar knows when this game is coming out right now?
I don't agree with that. I feel like Rockstar does know, and the fact that Gearbox had to say, "Oh, we're moving this," but it doesn't have anything to, like, don't speculate on why, is ridiculously transparent that they are moving it exactly for that reason.
Yeah. You know what? Well, Randy Pitchford might be good at sleight of hand, and Now You See Me Part 3, but he couldn't trick us this time.
It originally released on the same day as Marathon, another first-person shooter, so keep that in mind.
That game's also not. That game's going to get delayed.
I feel like that's a really bad delay, I think, for them.
That game also should probably not cost $40. I know I'm the guy over here that's like, I'll pay $80 for Donkey Kong Bonanza, but I just don't.
That's not your jam, so it makes sense.
I just don't care about Marathon. But the thing is, I don't think a $40 game
in that space,
marketplace can thrive, right? Like, how many premium games thrive in that marketplace? Non-free-to-play games. It's tough, right?
What's the name? Well, no, but it wasn't that, right? Like, this is different than Helldivers, but Helldivers did have a price tag, but that price tag was subsidized by being on a subscription service, which we don't know if Marathon will be yet.
If it's not on PlayStation Plus? Yeah.
It was.
Okay, it was.
Yeah, if Marathon is not, that is the dumbest thing they will ever do if they don't put it on PlayStation Plus.
Yeah.
Because they have that. They
already did that once with Concord.
Right. Yeah. And Bungie has that deal with PlayStation where, like, their games can release multi-platform. Unless that has changed. So, like, Marathon should come to Xbox, and then on Xbox it'll be 4.
Yeah, the alpha's already on Xbox.
Well, there you go. Yeah.
I want to play it with my Switch 2 mouse. Do some real extracting.
Sorry, Eric corrected us. Helldivers 2 was not released on PlayStation Plus.
Yeah, I didn't think it was. I didn't think it was. That and Concord were not, which felt very silly to me. I only know that because if it was on PlayStation Plus, I probably would have downloaded it. But it wasn't, so I didn't.
So when it was, wow, okay.
I'm not spending $40 to heck dive. Are you kidding me? Get on down. Abdel Corrales gifted a membership. Thank you so much, Abdel. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Gifted a membership over to Brett Diskin. Thanks, Brett. No, thanks, Abdel. Congrats, Brett. I don't know how to thank people. It's been weird. Zoob with a $5 dono. Thank you so much, Zoob. Genshin clones will be a better hour to buck value than Elder Scrolls 6, assuming you want to avoid common FOMO. I mean, I think already those free-to-play games are the best dollar to value, right? If you were like extremely frugal, like, you know, if you can avoid the FOMO or not avoid but like avoid the temptation of speeding things up if you're kind of patient in those games.
They give you a lot to do without having to spend money. Like they really do, and I kind of commend them for that, despite the sort of scummy business model that is taking advantage of folks who are weaker willed.
Sure,
but I mean, if you got your life together, it's fine.
Yeah. You know what? If you're that weak-willed, you're probably going to end up dying because someone paints like a tunnel on the side of the wall. You try to run through it like a fucking coyote. That coyote who took $1 from Nick.
You know what'll really get the gamers to protest if they put tariffs on the digital downloads in Genshin Impact.
Fucking might as well.
I love these.
They're going to tariff my waifus?
These waifus coming from China?
Exactly. You can't tariff the waifus.
Raise the tax.
You can't tariff the waifu. Wing Potato, been in the Green Gang for a year. Thank you so much, Wing Potato. Better Red Than Dead. Redemption 3. I think that was back when I called you a communist.
Oh, gotcha.
And then Fat Cock, back once again from the grave with the $2 donor. Wasn't the SAG after strike that was affecting Take-Two? Wasn't it the SAG after strike that was affecting Take-Two? I don't know. That's still going on, by the way.
Yeah, it's not over.
Yeah, so I don't know. I'm imagining some. I think I saw, again, this is reckless speculation. I thought I saw someone tweet something like they are 90% sure that 2 high-profile AAA games in the past few months have used AI voice acting, and no one has really realized it. So I'm a little worried like more and more that's going to happen and we're just not even going to know for like years to come.
Everything is so good.
Tomorrow, you said tomorrow's going to be fine though, so that's fine.
Tomorrow's Friday. You can't ruin
Tomorrow's going to be
Friday.
fine. I'm really excited to go see Sinners in IMAX. It's going to be great. What could possibly go wrong? Thunderbolts! Thunderbolts is great. Okay. Let's go into what we've been playing. And a nice little segue there. Donald Seaman over in the Patreon, a Seaman, like a Seaman, like the video game Seaman.
I was gonna say you really emphasized the Seaman there.
I like emphasizing people's last names.
You knew what you were doing.
Nick Clown. Donald Seaman. In wholesome news, did you see that Claire Obscure Expedition 33 devs and the 100-line Last Defense Academy devs have hyped up each other's games? I did see that, and that was exciting because those are the two big games I've been playing this week, which is great. I think everyone knows what Claire Obscure is. We're going to talk about it. I definitely want to hear Casey's take on it because that is something that he usually isn't super into. And then 100-line Last Defense Academy, unfortunately released, I believe, the same week as Oblivion and Claire Obscure, but it is a tactical, it is like a cross between a visual novel and a tactical RPG, and it is co-directed by the creator of Danganronpa and the creator of the Zero Escape Virtue's Last Reward series. So like two like incredibly beloved Japanese franchises combined to make this game, and it's like crazy timey-wimey stuff and a bunch of different endings and multiple choice things. I'm only a few hours into it because I've been playing a lot of Claire Obscure. 100-line is delightful though, so I'm excited to get to more of that. But Casey, I want to hear about your time with Claire Obscure.
Yeah, I am really into it.
Yeah.
Like I'm a well-known hater of JRPGs, and this is through and through a JRPG. Even though it's set in France, has French proclivities, stuff like that, it still follows very closely the design of a traditional Japanese RPG. But what it does differently is for its turn-based combat, it adds in elements of like Sekiro-esque parrying, or at the very least, just action game like pattern recognition, as well as on offense, just QTEs, like just timed button presses that don't fail your attacks but enhance your attacks. So like, there's a world where you can maybe grind your characters up so that they don't have to deal with any of this stuff, but it is crucial to the game. Like, to play this game well, you're making use of all these tactics. And that completely eliminates the main thing that always turns me off to these sorts of games, which is where everything else is talking and running around, and the part that I'm supposed to play feels like autopilot. Like, it feels like I'm doing a choose your own adventure type thing. And as long as my characters have done enough of these sorts of fights, they'll be strong enough to win this kind of war of attrition of damage going back and forth. I'd never get to the point where I'm understanding the strategy, like building the characters up to make sure that things work out. It always just feels like this weird sort of numbers grind to me. And I know that's probably not the case for all of them, but most of the ones I've tried, and I think even the more popular ones, still kind of adhere to that model. This does away with that. And it also, on the back end for its meta gameplay, allowed me to see how cool it is to just to build. Like, I was getting flashbacks of Unicorn Overlord, where like that game, which lets you build a line of characters that have abilities that synergize with other characters. So like, this character will do a thing that will allow this next character's thing to be stronger, or like get a second turn or whatever. Like, there's just all sorts of just little things you equip to characters, and you continuously build them up so that they have even more of those things. Like, there's never a point where you make hard choices as opposed to how you can set them up, but you keep progressing. So you keep adding more and more of these things. And it seems like this seems very broken, the number of things I can give this character to do, which then helps the next character, that makes them that much stronger. And you like in the trailers, I thought it was funny that a lot of the fights, you'd see the numbers flash and it's like 9999999. I hit that relatively quick.
Oh yeah, you break that ceiling real quick.
And it's really rewarding to like be in a combat situation and just, this enemy is gonna kill you in one hit, but you can be skilled enough to avoid that and then turn the tables and just wipe their bar just as fast. And that is super cool and fun.
Yep. Yeah, I completely agree. I'm absolutely loving its story, its characters, its soundtrack is right up there with South of Midnight as my favorite of the year.
It's also gorgeous.
It's really pretty.
Like that underwater, like flying waters section is probably one of the most incredible looking game spaces I've ever seen.
Yeah, that's an Act 1 area. Like,
like it's so early in the game too. Like they really led with their. This game starts off really strong too. That's another thing.
The prologue is amazing.
A lot of JRPGs like take so long just to get you into it, and like this, it's not a short intro, but it's not like overly long either. But it also sets up so much mystery and intrigue. Yeah.
You're like right. I think last week when we talked, I was like, "Oh, you're right at the part where like it stops holding your hand and you just."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like it did what it needed to do perfectly. Like it introduced me to everything, and it left me wanting more at the point where the game actually started, as opposed to getting tired of the setup. Because honestly, everyone was ranting and raving about Metaphor Refantasio to the point where like I tried it. Like I gave it a shot, a good college try, and I want to say I put like 3-4 hours into it, and I was still like, when is the game gonna like? When am I gonna see what the big deal is? Like I fell off of it sadly. Like maybe after a couple more hours it would have hooked me, but like that's how big of an investment JRPGs tend to be. Clair Obscur shortens that significantly, and it is so much fun.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, I love hearing that. Yeah, my thoughts haven't changed too much since last week. My minor nitpicks are still my same minor nitpicks of I wish there was a mini map for dungeons as someone who likes to explore every route before going down the main path. I will often like go far enough and be like, I feel like there's gonna be a boss if I go through here, so I'm gonna double back and go see everything else.
Same.
I do think I've had to do a thing which I think I've talked about before in God of War Ragnarok. I would have to tell myself I will only go into the menu once every half hour because you pick up new stuff. You pick up new what's the name for like the little like the accessories?
Pictos?
With the abilities? Pictos.
Pictos.
You picked up new Pictos all the time. You level up all the time. So it's one of those I'm almost like at least there are and you want to keep cycling through your Pictos because once you win 4 battles with a Picto you've had equipped and you only get 3 slots, you can then add that Picto's ability using a separate like skill point thing to your build even without having that equipped. So you do constantly want to refresh, but I've kind of forced myself to only do that when I'm at save points, like when I get to, which are plentiful, like when you get to like the flags and everything. But yeah, I'm really loving it. I just finished Act 1 and it's a doozy. Real doozy.
Are you
excited for y'all to get there?
Yeah, the end of Act 1 is
great. Oh, wow. Okay, so you got that far.
Yeah, I'm like 15, 16 hours in now.
Oh wow, you're further than me then.
Wow,
yeah, I'm just a little bit past Act 1. Yeah.
Like its story feels so much more mature than most of the games like this as well. And I'll extend that to oh my god, wasn't it Sea of Stars? Because I thought Sea of Stars story was also very good, but its gameplay didn't hold me as long. This feels like a grown-up, mature story that I would like. I'd sit and watch like a series about to begin with.
Happening.
And apparently that's happening. So the fact that is hitting on that front, and then the gameplay is hitting on that front, has really, in a way, like it's opening my eyes. Like, should I try more JRPGs? And I know the answer is no. I know that once I do that, I'm gonna be like, no, this isn't doing what I wanted to do. But I really hope that this gets paid attention to, because I would love more games in that space to just take some of these cues so that someone like me could get more into them. Because I know it's just a big genre of game that I just bounce off of all the time. But I'm wondering, because I feel like this has been a discourse that's been happening with a lot of people. Is this a bad thing to like traditional JRPG players? Like, are they not happy with sort of all the activity that takes place in these turn-based fights? Do they want it to be less, like more passive?
No, I don't think so. I think I have a video essay that should be up next week on. I think seeing a bunch of hot takes of this game is single-handedly saving turn-based RPGs feel silly because there are so many great turn-based RPGs. Now, granted, like we are in a new golden age. Granted, there was like we were in doldrums for a while. Like the HD era, especially like the 360 PS3 generation, like the mid-aughts to the mid-teens, unless you're playing on handhelds, like we're kind of slim pickings for a lot of JRPGs. That being said, if you specifically are like UKC, that is a little harder to find a battle system that is going to have that particular KC flavored, especially the parry system. Like this seems like it was made in a lab for you.
There's not a lot. There's not a lot that are like this active. Like Persona's active, but not anywhere near this.
But you can also just hit the fast forward button through battles and kind of jam through it until you get to the other enemy.
I mean, Sea of Stars, like Chained Echoes, if I recall, it's been a couple years since I played it now. I think has a more active battle system. That one's a pixel art JRPG that I really enjoyed. Chad, you'll have to remind me, but I think the closest thing you're going to get to this from people that have played it is Lost Odyssey on 360.
Yeah, the Sakaguchi game. He did Blue Dragon and Lost Odyssey. And Lost Odyssey, like the combat here is definitely somewhat inspired by Lost Odyssey, as well as the Shadow Hearts series on PS2. But again, those were generations ago.
But those did have just more button pressing between the
and not as mindless as like Sea of Stars button pressing. I think it's kind of mindless. Whereas with this, I always feel like I'm kind of on a razor's edge with parrying and kind of learning each unique enemy and whatnot. Yeah,
because like one thing just leads into the next. Like because that system exists and was so engaging, I was then willing to engage with the deeper meta that fuels it, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes that's all there is, because that's what Unicorn Overlord was. Like its system is all based around just that sort of stacking systems system. And I got obsessed with that. Yeah. So I just need the draw, I guess, to get me in. And maybe I can, for a JRPG, be okay with the turn-based thing as long as I figure out what the hook is for whatever that game is. But if it's gonna take like 10 hours, then I'm probably gonna check out.
What else? What else you been playing or watching? Anything else, Casey?
I just got one fact about Clay Obscure. The composer. This is his very first game. They found him on SoundCloud.
I heard that too.
Yeah.
That's nuts. That's awesome.
Yeah, which is incredible because that's probably going to win.
He's going to win score of the year.
It very much. Also, it's a soundtrack that's very diverse. Like there's like operatic music in there, but then there's like kind of like techno drops and stuff. There's stuff with lyrics. Like there's you guys should have seen this already, but like when you're in the gestural village and you do the tournament, like it sings a song about fighting. Like the song is singing about what you're doing, which is just very funny, like kind of fourth wall breaking. That's one more thing I guess I'll mention is I love when a game chooses sort of a unique setting. Like we've not seen this sort of fantasy French setting before. At least I haven't. But because the game and its world and its story is so filled with mystery, I'm wondering if this is stuff that like people who are from France know in some fashion, like
are the same way that like games that are unabashedly like Chinese or Japanese, like pull from that sort of like folklore and everything. Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know shit about France, but this game feels hella French.
It feels super French. Like you fight mimes who give you baguette clothing.
Yeah, baguette clothing. I'm wearing all that. If you think I'm not rolling through this game wearing those fucking clothes, you're out of your mind.
I just wish they do a little more to like teach me. Like what's the significance of a gestural? Like what is that? I don't know what that is, but the characters seem really into it. I just wish I could understand what
that thing from Final Fantasy 16, the little active time glossary thing. Let me highlight. Down to learn about it. Yeah.
If this had like a little lore dump page thing, I would absolutely read all of that because I'm way into this world.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Great game. Glad to see it is doing so well. That rules. What else, Casey? What else?
TV wise, I finished White Lotus season 3. I was a little down on the series.
Spoilers.
I won't spoil anything, but I was down on the series because following season 1, season 2 was kind of lackluster. Like I didn't care about a lot of characters, even the ones that returned. And I thought the ending was kind of like jarring and off-putting. This one was much better. Like it's like the show is always about rich people who are kind of shitty. But at the very least, these rich people, or these people, I should say, had aspects to them that you at the very least could sympathize with in some instances, and in other instances, you just kind of wanted to, like, they were just fun to watch, right? Like real characters in this season, like the wife with the heavy Southern accent.
They're always talking about fucking
Posey.
Duke. Yeah, Duke and UNC.
like me and my fiance just loved copying her accent because it was so, like we sat there in the couch just laughing at each other trying to do her accent because she's just a character. Also, the I don't know, like it's the setting, like I can't remember. All these seasons probably did this as well, but the setting of Thailand, so much attention was kind of put on like the background. Like I really loved all the shots of like the water, like the animals, like the statues in the comp. Like Thailand is like super beautiful at the very least. They made sure to show off what is beautiful about Thailand in the series, and in a way that I don't remember the other series doing as much.
Yeah, this definitely felt like they did it way more than there was some of that in Italy in the second season, but it felt like they definitely sort of had just Thailand interstitials way more in this.
Yeah,
which I also felt like a little.
Yeah, and it was like it was really really cool to see. Like really fun story. Like it gets dark as most of these seasons do.
Yeah,
but
where would you want a season 4 to take place? I keep wanting it to take place in a fancy ski chalet, like Switzerland or something.
Oh, I don't know. That's the thing. I'm never sort of like on the hunt for White Lotus.
Yeah.
Like when it comes, like I'll watch it and then get pulled in. But like its premise alone isn't enough to pull me in. Like I just kind of need to be forced to watch it and then I'm on board.
Yeah.
But this season was good.
I wasn't as crazy about it. But it is also one of those things. It's so fucking popular that I'm like, I'm gonna watch it, and at the very least, it's entertaining. It's never not entertaining to me.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Finally, I've started Pantheon, which I've been saying for weeks and weeks that I was going to start. First episode is kind of lackluster. Like it doesn't tell you much, doesn't give you a ton to hook onto. So I wouldn't blame you if you watched that and then like left. But second episode gets right into the meat and the premise for this show. I don't want to. I don't know if it's a spoiler because it's kind of the premise of the whole show, right?
I think you say premise.
Yeah, like essentially it's dealing with uploaded intelligence. So like people get their entire mind copied and uploaded to the internet, but that process kills the person. And it's like they're dealing with, they use the word Pantheon and like the really cool nod to that when they're just telling you like, you know, a bunch of Greek gods and stuff in history in the first episode. But they're essentially telling you like, hey, this is going to be a problem because these uploaded intelligences are going to have a lot more power and control over the things that we use than you might realize once they kind of, you know, become self-aware. But the thing is, they're already self-aware, right? These are humans who are just on the internet. So I really like the premise, and it's real like deep state conspiracy sort of storytelling. So if you're into that sort of thing, like real Black Mirror-esque storytelling, it feels like. And it also it's giving me hints of I don't know if this was a graphic novel or whatever, but it feels like Invincible. Like maybe it's the animation that's doing it to me, but it feels like the same level of like story progression and intensity as something like Invincible.
Yeah, I think this is an original story. I'm not 100% sure. I haven't watched it yet, but I don't think it's based on a graphic novel. At least not one that I know to.
Right, but it gets really good. It gets really emotional too. Like very shortly after. I think I'm on like episode 4 right now, and I'm like, I can't wait to like find out more. Yeah, from the show right now because it really starts. It really starts running after the first episode.
Have you watched any Lazarus yet?
No, not yet. That's did it drop all at once?
No, it's week.
No, okay, so I'll wait.
That's
I'm just gonna wait.
I keep intending to watch all this stuff, and I've even taken a break from Gurren Lagann because I'm fucking Gundam pilled. Let me tell you, I think I might watch my goal for the rest of the year. Watch every episode of Gundam, and
there's so much
like,
Gundam though.
I think there's like 550 episodes of Gundam across all the series, and I think I'm gonna do it. And I think I'm gonna start becoming a dude who just builds little robots.
Are you counting? I mean, Jay does that already, so you can get some tips on where to go from him. But are you counting like movies and stuff? or
I'm gonna
just
do everything. It's gonna be annoying. It's gonna be annoying, and I'm gonna be so excited. There were some rumors that Sydney Sweeney's gonna be in a Gundam movie, and I'm like, this is
yeah,
gonna
I
be
saw
fucking
that too.
terrible.
Like, what does
And I'm
that
stoked.
mean?
I don't know who she's gonna be.
You're gonna take
Gundam
Sydney
is so good. The
Sweeney
original
and put her in
79
a Gundam?
the original 79 Gundam is so good. It is crazy what a good anti-war story it is for an
Yeah.
animated show in 1979.
Most of
There's
them
fucking
are.
Flintstones here in the U.S. What are we doing? Bunch of fucking Neanderthals, knuckle draggers here in the U.S. watching fucking Sesame Street. While meanwhile, Amuro's losing fucking every member of White Base to the goddamn horrors of war. It's crazy. It is crazy.
Like
Also,
almost
it is
every
just-
Gundam is that good of like a war story, like different kinds of war stories too. There's a Romeo and Juliet Gundam war story, 0080.
I've only watched Gundam Wing as a kid, and I was sick as hell.
Yeah, Gundam Wing is awesome.
And then I watched the 8th MS Team, which is just the Vietnam War in Gundam. And I'm like,
Yes,
Gundam might be the
yeah,
greatest thing
that's
ever.
what that is.
Gundam might literally be the greatest thing ever. So, shout out to Gundam, shout out to Big Robots.
Have you not seen G Gundam?
No, I've literally only seen Gundam Wing and
Okay.
and 8th MS Team. This is all very new to me.
Do G Gundam next.
Okay,
It's like if Gundam was professional wrestling.
I did not expect that. They're wrestling? Is there
No, they're
war?
not wrestling. It's war, but it's like a sort of organized war where representatives come and fight in a tournament, but the tournament represents the factions that they come from.
Oh, I like that. Okay,
And they are absolute characters. all the
Hell yeah.
representatives.
Hell yeah, you sold me. Gundam's great. Nick, as a resident Gundam fan, what else have you been watching?
I felt like I entered a different outlet with that conversation. I was like, where am I?
Welcome to the Gun Zone.
What am I doing here? What year is it?
They just put the Gundams in Overwatch.
Oh, okay.
There's a bunch of Gundam skins. Am I gonna start playing Overwatch?
Probably.
Gundam? No, I'm not gonna do that.
You'll put as much time
There's
into it as
already-
you put into the last first-person shooter you played.
There's already an Overwatch Gundam clone. No, a Gundam. Yeah.
The Gundam game.
That's an
Yeah,
Overwatch
that looked
clone.
bad,
Yeah.
and I didn't play that.
Mhm.
But I wasn't Gundam pilled like I've been over the last 2 weeks. So, yeah. But yeah, Nick, what have you been playing?
I've been playing Clay Obscure, and then I just because I want to understand the genre more. I've been playing a lot of different extraction shooters. So the main one I put some time into was that Arena Breakout Infinite, which is the worst title ever made for a video
Yeah,
game
what?
all of mankind.
Yeah.
It's literally called Arena
Sounds like that
Breakout
would give
Infinite.
you a virus if you downloaded it.
Pretty much, it's a more accessible version of Tarkov essentially, and so put some time into that, and then the tech test number 2 has started up for Arc Raiders, that second game that Embark Studios is working on, the developers behind the finals. So I'm starting. I was already starting to get into the extraction loop because I really liked what I played of Exoborn. Talked about that on a few times here. That's from the Shark Mob team. So before, like, anytime I went to an extraction game, I felt completely overwhelmed by it because, like, you gotta look at your gear, you gotta set, the ammo types, all this different stuff. Exoborn stripped a lot of that out, and so I started to get into the gameplay loop of the extraction game of get in and try to find as much loot as you can and just try to get out, and you don't need to seek out conflict. And that's kind of like where I finally found the loop of the genre where I actually get it and I enjoy it. Because Battle Royale, I like the intensity of Battle Royale games, but I don't like that there's hardly any strategy to them because everybody moves so fast in all these games. The extraction genre really slows things down a lot, and you really have to decide to pick your battles because you're not just fighting people, you're fighting, the enemies all around the map and all that. So the games that understand that I have enjoyed a lot more. So Exoborn did an okay job with that. Their AI is really dumb though. Escape from Arena Breakout
Every time you say
Infinite.
Exoborn, I think you're talking about Exoprimal.
Uh,
What do you mean you're still playing Exoprimal?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
You know what? On Sunday nights after pickleball, I go to play.
Are you playing with
Exoprimal.
people you know, or are you just like?
No, I'm
being
just
like
sitting
little
there in a
creep by
lobby by
yourself?
myself. Yeah.
Okay.
So Exoborn got me into the loop. Arena Breakout Infinite got me more into the tactical part of it, which is messing with your loot and organizing it and understanding like how to make a build basically, and that's a big part of those games. And then Arc Raiders is more like Exoborn, where it simplifies things quite a bit to make it more accessible for people. But the AI is actually really smart in that game, and like the sound design is really fucking good. So like when you hear like one of these giant robots coming after you, or like off in the distance, you're like, I'm not going over there. Don't no. And like every combat encounter in that, like the sound design is so good that like, there's people over there fighting these robots and they're in a good loot area according to the map. Should I go over there and engage that encounter and try to pick them off and take their loot and maybe risk like let them take out the enemies and then go, in and engage, and then also map out your route to get to an extraction point, but you also have to be careful that people aren't there waiting for you to take your loot and all that. So I'm really starting to like the tension of it, and the games that are more accessible are starting to hook me. I'm starting to really understand that loop and enjoy it. So I'm very interested in playing Marathon if anybody wants to send me a code, Bungie. But I haven't got one yet, so I want to see what that one's
Email?
like. Yes.
Remember I told you about how...
No. Yes, I put in a request and everything.
Okay, good.
Somehow, I just, anything Halo, I don't get, so it's fine. I didn't get a
Halo
review
fan.
code
You're
for
out here
Halo
just drinking mixed milk.
Yeah. So I'm waiting to check out Marathon, but yeah, I starting to enjoy that genre a bit more than I had been. So I'm getting it. But
I thought you were always a fan of the extraction shooter thing. Honestly, I didn't know you were bouncing off it at all.
No, I've tried Escape from Tarkov a few times, and it just I think I've said before on this podcast, like I really don't like how much time you have to spend in menus and all the contracts and all that kind of stuff.
Didn't you play The Hunt Showdown? That's an extraction shooter.
Yeah, a little bit. That one's like so sweaty. I just don't really care. I don't really like the weapon feel in that game. Escape from Tarkov is like a hard pill to swallow because it's not only super hardcore in the sense of all the different vendors and stuff you gotta deal with, but like when you get shot in the leg or the arm or whatever, it impacts your character in that way. So like really hardcore. So I'm finding more enjoyment in these more accessible versions, but like I won't play like Call of Duty Warzone anymore because it's so sweaty and so fast and I hate it. So I like...
You're getting old, that's the problem.
Fine, we'll go with that.
You are. You're drinking too much chocolate milk. It's weighing you down. Those pro gamers are fucking those pro gamers are absolutely drinking Twix chocolate milk. That's probably like core audience for that.
Yeah, a sign of age is drinking chocolate milk.
Yeah,
that's the first thing of chocolate milk I've had in like a year. So no, yeah. The only other thing I've been I still can't talk about some of the games I've been playing. So the only other thing I've been watching right now is Andor, which remains excellent. I don't think we need to say anything.
You've been trying to build a pipe bomb at home like I have?
No, I haven't.
You don't say that on the internet.
Oh no, JK. I was being sarcastic.
He's talking about the big dump in his toilet.
Yeah, big.
Oh, ew.
But the new show I've been watching is Mobland on Paramount Plus. So that's got Tom Hardy in it and Pierce Brosnan. So it's another kind of crime drama show, but it's actually got a pretty interesting story to it, and the characters have been really good. Kissy, I think you would like this one because it's not.
Yeah, I saw a trailer for this.
Yeah, it's not just like murder porn or depressing shit all the time. It's actually kind of funny in some spots. Like this, Tom Hardy's pretty funny about being a sarcastic asshole quite a bit.
Is that Dame Helen Mirren I see in the kiosk?
Yeah, she's in it too.
Yeah.
So this is like set
she's a bitch in the show. She's a real bitch.
So this is what, set in like London or?
They all speak in Irish, so I think it's Ireland.
Oh, okay. Is Tom Hardy Irish?
I don't know. I don't think so. I think he's from the UK.
So
I got news for you. If I got news for you,
I mean that's Ireland is in the UK.
Oh well, yeah. I mean, fuck off. You know what I mean?
No, Tom Hardy is English, born in London.
Yeah. So and in the show the show is British, but the characters are Irish.
Apparently, this started off as a spinoff of Ray Donovan.
What is that show? I've been hearing that show for several years now. I don't know what Ray Donovan is or supposed to be.
I don't know. I've never watched it. I didn't have more.
That was the longest pause to wait for Marty to answer.
Someone tell me what the fuck is Ray Donovan?
Oh no, I don't know what Ray Donovan is. How did you find that? You're the one who watched it. When you bring something to the table for show and tell, you lead the convo. I was just here to Ray Donovan us. It was starring Liev Schreiber.
What's happening?
Lieb.
Lost. So, anyways,
Mobland.
I'm completely lost. You destroyed me. Mobland's good. UK exists. Ireland exists.
Yeah,
it's somewhere. There's violence.
You took a huge step there.
What?
Incredibly bold of you.
To do what?
To say Ireland exists. Snake in the Garden. I don't know.
It's called Irish land now.
Awake. Isn't it like 1,000,000 o'clock there? But you made Snake proud. Are you done talking about Mobland?
I still don't know what's going on.
The podcast?
Yeah, I have no idea what's happening.
Usually, when we talk about a thing, we talk about it and then we finish up our.
Casey wanted to know what Ray Donovan was, and nobody answered him.
I said, I don't know. Fucking I don't know.
Then after that passed,
we were fine.
Going to keep talking about Mobland.
Well, then I was wondering what Ray Donovan was.
Who gives a shit? Look it up off stream. I'm fucking sick. Let me go to bed. Got like 109-degree fever. I didn't get to go see fucking
109
Thunderbolt.
degrees. You're in heaven already, sir.
Are you done? Okay, that's it for the
yes,
show.
I'm done. I've been waiting for you to wrap the show up now. Or answer what the fuck Ray Donovan
guy
is.
With a $2 dono. Thank you so much, fella guy. Sinners is the best film of the year. I completely agree, fella guy. A great guy.
Best film I've seen all year.
A great guy and a great fella. That does it for us. Casey, what do you got going on? What should folks check out in your neck of the woods?
Today is Thursday. Tomorrow, catch me and a fiance playing more Blueprints. We put some time in off stream, so we got some strategies cooking. So come check us out, see if we get where we're trying to get to, or if the RNG gods will bury us. Outside of that, Jesse and I did a discovery queue earlier this week on, I think it's pronounced Keyborg, but I don't know.
It's not Kyborg?
I don't think it's Kyborg. I listened to the trailer, but the guy had an accent, so I don't know if I'm copying his accent.
I think it's dealer's choice.
Saying it wrong.
I think it's dealer's choice. Well, if you're making
knows?
up a fake ass word, dealer's choice.
Pronounce it exactly how it looks like I do.
That's fair. So yeah, check that out. Also, Super Smash Sunday on Sunday, 2 hours here on Second Wind channel, well, the Twitch at least, and then 3 hours on my channel, Saving Gears 9, for 5 hours of amazing Smash memories, fun times.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
Did we ever what is Mobland about? It's just a Mobland. You said it was Pierce Brosnan and Tom Hardy, and then I said Helen Mirren, and then I brought up Ray Donovan, and then you never told us what Mobland's about. It's probably just about a Mobland.
I wanted to know where it was located, and then we went down this rabbit hole.
Yeah, we went down a rabbit hole of Irie Land and Ray Donovan. It's a show about two different. Right now, it's a show about two different crime families that are basically at each other's throat, trying to control, the mob areas, I guess, like that. But it's also kind of like a murder mystery. Something happens early on that kind of puts these two families at war with one another, but there's other forces at play too. So it's kind of like one of those shows that kind of evolves as it goes. Like it kind of puts you right in the middle of like an active thing that's already happening. So I'm only 3 episodes in, so I'm not exactly sure what it's entirely about yet, other than Tom Hardy being kind of this mobster guy that basically answers to this family while trying to live his normal life too, and keeping his family separated from it. And we all know that never works out. So
can't have that.
Yeah. Some real.
He's kind of it's kind of like a big part of the show is like basically Tom Hardy being a fixer for a family. But he also has like ties to that family.
Yeah, like Bosch. I don't know what Bosch is either. I literally don't know what Bosch is.
Marty, you gotta stop.
Don't you do it. Don't you do it.
You gotta
Bosch
just
is showing
stop
up
saying.
Nick, what do you got going on outside of learning all sorts of stuff about Mobland this weekend?
I just had a essay go up today on Tempest Rising. I adapted it from the one I put on my own channel, so I'll be removing that one in place of this one. So there's some extra bits in there if you haven't watched that. Tempest Rising is the RTS that J-Mate and I played for Discovery Queue, which I was very bad at, but my essay is more about finding Tempest Rising to be a good gateway game to get back in the genre. And then I'll have a new episode of Unpacked out tomorrow. And then I will be gone Monday through Wednesday of next week at a preview event in Montreal. And then I'll be back. And then I already recorded and wrote my next Unpacked for next Friday, so that's already in.
Yeah. It's cool that you go hands-on with Ubisoft Montreal's Ray Donovan game. Ray Donovan open world extraction game. As for me, don't follow me. Don't watch me. But you should if you're at the $5. If you're at the $5 tier or above. I feel like we've done this before where I've taken medicine before a stream. I don't think this wasn't PM medicine though. I think I'm dying. If you're at the $5 tier and above, check out Jesse's incredible experimental video that he made about it's Jesse commentating over a full ass digital hockey game. And let me tell you, Jesse doesn't know what's going on, but he makes hockey very entertaining. I'm going to go as far to say
completely
makes it more entertaining than regular hockey. Dare
Absolutely.
I say.
I would never watch regular hockey, but with Jesse commentating, I just might.
Yeah, exactly. And then also I'll be I lied when I said don't follow me places. I'll probably be finishing Until Dawn this weekend on my personal channel, as well as I might start, you know what I kind of want to do? Cheeky little replays of Doom and Doom Eternal. Because you know what? The brainworms are here, and you can't play a new Doom game without playing the old Doom games, can you, Casey?
You can. There's more than two Dooms, Marty.
Oh, you gotta go all the way back.
You gotta go all the way back.
Gotta get Doom 64. Gotta play Doom 3.
You gotta play it on every device that you can.
That's too many. That's on like birth control.
You gotta play it on Notepad.
Pregnancy sticks.
Do you have to pee on it first before it activates?
in order to kill the Kako demons, you gotta piss on it. That's gonna do it for us for Firelink episode number 65. For Nick, Casey, and Eric, this was Marty. Thank you all so much for watching, listening. Thank you to all members of the Green Gang, everyone on our Patreon, and just anyone who supports us through this nonsense. We really appreciate it. Have a wonderful rest of your Thursday evenings / Friday mornings, depending on where you are, and we'll see y'all soon. Bye, everyone.
Bye, guys.